Hey, this is Mason with DataSift, and today we are going to talk about is how you can build drip campaigns inside of Sift. We're going to talk about some of the key components and best practices to remember when you are building these drip campaigns, as well as we're going to actually build one really critical campaign to all real estate investors, one that most companies should have in order to keep their lead flow and lead management rocking. And in order to do that, we're going to bring in the help of Kylie, our customer support team lead, and she's going to help us with breaking it down as well as setting up the drip campaign. Drip campaigns were released last month in November. At the time of recording, it's December of 2025, and this has been a highly anticipated, highly asked for feature from our users, from our non-users, and we're so glad that it's here. So, Kylie, when it comes to drip campaigns, there is some best practices that we do want to discuss. One of which is overuse. Like, what do real estate investors need to know about drip campaigns in terms of not overdoing it?
Well, for one thing, you want to really pay attention to how many records you are adding to the drips. So if you're using drips in combination with sequences, you need to be careful with how many you trigger at once because you don't want to send 1,000 text messages out at a short period of time because that can affect your chances of becoming spam likely. We
Okay.
also have something in place to kind of help control when you're sending the drip campaign. So if you have not set your time zone in your account, be sure to do that. That way we can make sure that we schedule those drips between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. based on your time zone.
Two of the big factors with drip campaigns is making sure that your time zone is correct so that your intention of what you're sending is being sent at a good time, as well as the other thing of like just being compliant. It's totally possible that investors can overdo it on SMS, whether they're sending huge bulk drip campaigns full of SMS to thousands of people. I mean, nobody wants to get dealt with in terms of lawsuits and litigation in real estate. So with drip campaigns, you really got to be careful. And that's been something that we kind of safeguarded for a while when it came to this feature was we didn't want to have the issues of people just spamming. So healthy practices are critical. As far as drip campaigns, are there any other things that people need to be considerate of when they're doing them? Is it something where you really want to automate your entire company with it, or is it just kind of specific things, use case to use case? What are you seeing in that regard?
These campaigns are really intended for long-term lead follow-up. With your hot leads, you're probably going to want that to be like a more personal touch, a more manual touch. But for things that, and maybe your cold leads, or maybe ones that become not interested after the lead management process, or your ghosting leads where you're just not able to get back in touch with to qualify, those would be a good use case for drip campaigns.
Okay, so the ghosting lead, that's the one we want to talk about today, right? So let's go ahead and let's actually show people how to build this ghosting lead, this campaign, and let's talk about why this is the one we're choosing. Why is this one so critical for investors? All right, so we're in the SIF dashboard, and as you can see on the left sidebar, there's drip campaigns, and there's that nice shiny new button next to it. So Kylie's going to open them up and she's going to get into the details of it. She's going to describe the frameworks of a drip campaign, the different aspects of what you're building, how to customize. And then once she's done with that and shows you the inner frameworks of it, we're going to go ahead and build you the drip campaign for the ghosting leads. So Kylie, go ahead and take it away.
Drip campaigns can be used in conjunction with our sequences feature, so you can automatically add records into the drip campaign, or you can also manually select records from the record page and add to the drip. The drip campaign section is going to be where you manage all of your drip campaign details. This is where you can create folders to organize your different drips. You would create your new campaigns, and then once they are created, you're also going to be able to view details to see which records are actively in the drip, which records are completed, which would be they've completed all steps of the drip, any failed if you have any of those records, and then anything that's been removed. Within your drip campaigns, you can select to remove the records from here, or you can go into the individual record and then remove them from the drip if you ever need to. Drip campaigns are fully customizable, so you can set them up for however long of a follow-up sequence that you want. Within the drip campaigns, you can automate sending SMS. sending emails, and also creating tasks. So if you want a task to serve as a reminder to call and reach out to them, or maybe you want to review the lead for a longer term follow-up. All right, now I'm going to show you exactly how to build out a drip campaign for ghosting leads. You can use this same framework to create any of your drips. The steps are going to be basically the same, and you can customize it to your follow-up frequency for each of your campaigns. This campaign is going to include, the first step is going to be to send SMS, and then the second step is going to be sending an email. And then this third step is going to be a task for us to call the owner and then also review the lead based on that phone call. So because we're going to include a task in this drip campaign, we first need to create the task preset. So first we're going to go over to the task page and configure presets. And then under our lead management section, I'm going to add a new preset for call, review, ghosting lead. I'm going to assign this to myself. If you have a dedicated lead manager, you can also assign it to your lead manager. When assigning tasks, you can assign by role or user, or you can create a specific user round robin group to assign to. And I'm also going to leave this task as overdue after 1 day. We're going to use the delays in drips to be able to schedule out this task about a month after we send the email. Okay, now that we have the task created, we can switch back over to drip campaigns and start building the campaign. So from here, we're going to select Add New Campaign, and this is going to be titled Ghosting Lead Follow-Up. And because we've most likely already contacted this person before it goes into ghosting lead, I am going to set a 30-day delay. Typically with ghosting leads, it would go from new lead, and then when you call to follow up and qualify them, if they do not answer, then it would become no contact new lead. From there, you would move to nurture, and then after a few attempts from nurturing, if you still are not able to reach them, that's when you would want to move to ghosting. So the first step here is going to be, we set a 30-day delay, and then we want to send an SMS. When you are sending your SMS, this is going to work with our integrations with smartphone, Twilio, and Plivo. So once you have those integrations set up, you should see your numbers to send from here. So you would select which number you want to send from. And then when you send to, there's a couple of options here. In DataSift, we have correct phone numbers, but there are times where you may have multiple correct phone numbers. So we also have an option to select a primary phone number, so you can select the main preferred phone number for that owner. So when you're sending, you can select to send to that primary phone number or all phones marked as correct. If you select all phones marked as correct and you have multiple phone numbers that are correct, it will send to each one of those numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up to send to the primary phone number. So now we're going to type out our message, and you can type in the @ symbol to pull up our list of variables. So that way you can fill in the owner first name, your name, and then the property details. Now we're going to add another action, and we are going to set another 30-day delay. And then next we're going to send an email. So kind of similar to our phone numbers, we also have a primary email and then emails marked as correct. So if you have the one preferred email address, then you can select to send to the primary email and it will only send to that address. Otherwise, if you select to send to all emails marked as correct, if you have multiple emails marked as correct for that record, then it will send to all emails. So now we need to type out our subject. And then the body of our email. All right, next up, we want to go ahead and set a new action, and this is going to be another 30-day delay. And then after those 30 days, we are going to create that task to call and follow up. Select our task here, and that's it. I mean, with this, you have a drip campaign set up to reach back out to ghosting leads. That way, you are automating your follow-ups and no lead slips through the cracks. So I'm going to go ahead and save the campaign here. And now that that's saved, to be able to add these records, there's a couple of ways we can do this. We can go into sequences and lead management, and when the record becomes ghosting, we can make changes, add a new action, and run drip campaign, and then select the campaign that we just created. And what this means is whenever a record is moved into that ghosting lead phase on your SIFT board, it's going to update the property status to ghosting lead and then automatically run this campaign. So then you would just save changes. If you wanted to manually add records to the drip campaign, you could do so from the records page. You would filter and select the records that you want to add, select them, and then go to Send to Drip Campaigns and select the drip campaign you created here and confirm. So that is how to create and manage a drip campaign for ghosting leads. This is just one of many examples that you could use to implement drip campaigns in your business. We are so excited to release this feature, and we're really looking forward to seeing how our customers utilize drips in their business and seeing the wins that come from it.
So that drip campaign, in our opinion at SIFT, through numerous years of seeing real estate investors operating in their businesses, we know that that's an essential campaign. Obviously, lead management and follow up and task management is essential to the drip campaign feature. But where is the drip campaign coming from? Like when that person became ghosted, what do we have to have built infrastructure wise in SIFT so that when those things start to happen, these automations and these workflows begin? Can you like kind of show us maybe in SIFT line or the properties page, whatever you need to do to kind of describe that to us?
Yeah, so all new accounts come with automations or workflows for lead management, acquisitions, and transactions. So when you create your account, you're going to see the following SIF line boards. You'll also have sequences that are connected to these boards. So for example, if I change a property status to new lead,
Which this is automatically in my account when I sign up.
yes,
This new
yes,
lead status. Okay.
Yep, these are automatically added in your account as soon as you create it. So when you change a property status to new lead, that's what kicks off the start of the automations. So if I go back to our lead management board, we can see that the new lead was automatically added to the new lead unqualified phase. And the rest of our automations are based on when you complete a task or what phase that you place the card into. So, for example, if I were to um, call this new lead and I wasn't able to reach them to be able to qualify them, then I would move them to no contact new lead. And that is going to trigger some tasks to follow up with them again. If whenever I complete that task out, it's going to automatically create another task to follow up. And then after a few attempts, I can decide, okay, I still haven't reached them, so now I want to move them to nurture new lead. That's also going to create some tasks to follow up. And then from there, if you're still unable to reach them after a few attempts, then you can switch them to ghosting. So when you
Okay.
move them to this ghosting phase, it's going to automatically change the status to ghosting. And that's where you can go in after you create your drip campaigns to edit the sequences or the automations and add your drip campaign so that it starts whenever this whenever records move to this ghosting lead phase.
So this example that we just built, now if we had our sequence, our automation, the sequences and SIFT is just the trigger that creates
Yep.
an automation. The drip campaign you built, now this person would be on a timer for 30 days before our text would send, correct?
That's right. Yeah, the way that we've set that up, it has a 30-day delay before any of the actions start. So after we move to the ghosting lead phase, in 30 days, it would automatically send that text to follow up.
Okay.
Then it would also, another 30 days, it would send that email. And then
Mhm.
again, in the next 30 days, it would set up the task for us to call and review.
So one of my big questions coming up with this is, I got a lot of data, right? I'm not just going to have one ghosting lead in a month. I'm probably going to have dozens. Same with new leads, same with lost deals. So when these automations and these sequences trigger and they start placing these properties and these homeowners in specific drip campaigns, how am I looking at the overall, like the bird's eye view of the drip campaign, who's in it, and kind of where they're at? Do I have that ability?
Yes, within the drip campaign section, you are able to see the details for each of your campaigns. So if you go into view details, you will be able to see all the records in the campaign and which step they're in. So, like for example, this record is it was just added, so right now it's still under active because it has not completed all of those steps. But here you would also be able to see any records that have completed, failed, or been removed. And if, let's say, the ghosting lead texts you back or calls you back after that first SMS. So then you can go in here and either within the drip campaign, you can select remove it, or if you are within the record, you'll be able to remove it from a campaign here.
Got you. Does the change of the property status swap it out?
Right now, the way that it's set up, it does not. So,
Okay.
if you do get in touch with them and you are, and they say that they are interested and you're able to like qualify them as a hot lead, then you would still want to go ahead and remove them from that drip.
Right.
And then if they are a hot lead, that would probably be more of a personal touch.
And the reason being probably is because, the amount of people that complete and need to be moved isn't as a large number, and you're manually dialing these people, you're manually managing these people. So I imagine, yeah, we just want to manually manage this one more step. So that would make
That's
sense.
Yep, that's right. And then, also if they call you or text you back and say that they're interested now, you are still going to want to go into the record, make notes, look at their details, maybe submit an offer to them. So since you are going to already be like going into the record to see those details, then it's usually a pretty quick and easy step to just
Sure.
select to remove it.
That is adhering to the idea that the data management doesn't stop just because they became a lead or because they became something and went through a ghosting. Like we still want to keep everything tracked, and it's also catering to the idea that we don't want to abuse our drip campaigns. Just because the drip campaign ran doesn't mean we want to stop focusing on what happened. We want to know what happens from beginning to end, whether that's a closed deal at the end or someone left or they told us they don't want to sell. So that would make sense. Okay, so we can see the days that it ran, the steps that it ran. So you can tell, current steps send SMS. They're on their first step. They haven't received it yet. Um, as far as lead management goes, the other main one that we would build is a new lead, right? I would prefer that when I have a new lead, I want speed to lead. So I don't always get to them right away, but if I can set up, something, a text to send, 3 minutes or something after a property becomes a new lead, that's a possibility, right?
Yes, that's exactly right. So if you have a new lead and you wanted to automatically send them a text to let them know that your team will be calling again to send more details, go over the process with them further, then you can use drip campaigns to create just a few minute delay and send that text. And then those drip campaigns can also be attached to your new lead sequence that automatically runs when you change that property status to new lead.
That definitely covers an important aspect. I think for investors watching, they want to know that they can get there quick because some of them are, out on appointments or they're talking to sellers and, that are wanting to sell or right then and there. And they want to know that when their cold callers are doing work, that speed to lead can still be prioritized because they always say that, your employees aren't going to care as much as you do. So this is kind of one of those safeguards in terms of lead management where you could set something up that says like, hey, this is Mason. You filled out our form. You're interested in selling. We will call you from this number in a few minutes, or we'll send you a text just to let you know that we got the message, and we'll be reaching out soon. So thank you for your interest, or whatever you want it to be. It could look like that.
That's exactly right. And also, if you have, let's say you have a Carrot website, something like that, and you
Oh
have
yeah,
a lead intake form, um,
sure.
you can also set up Zaps to send those leads into REI Sift, and these drip campaigns can be triggered from those new leads that come in from a form like that.
So my inbound leads through my carrot can trigger this drip campaign right in Sift.
Yep.
Sweet. All right. So thanks, Kylie. Thank you for running us through how to build this drip campaign. Like we mentioned in the beginning, this feature has been long awaited, highly requested in the community, and we weren't just going to build it fast and release it. We wanted to take our time, make sure it was built right, make sure that there was proper safeguards in place, proper use cases ready to go with it. And we're just super excited for this to be released. We're already seeing the use cases in the mastermind community. If you're not a part of the Facebook mastermind community yet, the link will be in the description of this video or in the Help Center article where you're watching it. And we just are really appreciative for you guys to watch this and thank you so much. And we hope that you sign up for a trial with us and start utilizing this platform. And we're releasing features every month. So we look forward to what's coming next. And thanks again. And we will see you guys in the next video.